Media.
Hello, everybody. Welcome to another episode of the Kansas Missing and Unsolved podcast. I am your host, Ricky Chabruggi, and as always, joining me is Derek and down in Arizona. How's it going down there, Derek?
Hey, pretty good, man. How you doing?
Doing all right. Just keeping busy. It's been a busy day. Had to work my 6:30 to 4 at work, and then I came home and took care of some stuff. And me and my daughter went and got my other kid, and we went to a wrestling show, and I'm literally only home from the wrestling show about like 15-20 minutes ago.
So I want the audience to know you're a grown man and you went to watch wrestling, and it wasn't your kids that wanted to go. It was you. It was your idea to go to the wrestling.
My older daughter that lives with me, she's really getting into it. She really had a good time. So I'm getting her hooked.
You're talking about like local level wrestling?
Yeah, it's a local independent group, XWE. They run a show every other month here in Salina, and then they do other shows around the state.
Oh, wow.
So, yeah.
Let's check in with some of these people. Andrea Lynn's here, like always. Junction City. Roxanne Fisher's here from Oklahoma. We have Ellen Dotson from Leavenworth. Lisa's here from Junction City. Esther's here from Greensburg. Tysana, I love that name. Tysana's here from Wichita, the ICT.
Cool.
Cindy says she's been missing. You know, we've been missing you. Everybody's been watching college basketball the last like 3 weeks. We've had some pretty it's only 24 people here. Usually there's like 50 people here. Everybody's tired from the March Madness. Congratulations to KU, by the way. They had just won. No, they didn't win the championship. They had just won to go to the championship on our last show. So they're champions now.
Yeah. They won
Minnesota in the house.
Cool. Is it Carrillo or Carrillo?
I'm not sure. I think Carrillo. I don't
Lakeland,
know.
Florida.
Nice. Right. Sherry McElfresh. I like that.
No, I've just not been seeing you guys. I wasn't watching the game.
Oh.
Well, we did switch nights up to Saturday.
So. Yeah, that could be the big problem. People are kind of busy right now, maybe putting their kids to bed. It's 10 o'clock. 10 o'clock's like a busy time of the night,
Yeah.
She says Carrillo or Carrillo. We said both of them, so I'm not sure.
Yeah.
We're trying to come on at 9 o'clock on Saturdays that Ricky's off and 10 o'clock on Saturdays that Ricky works.
Yeah.
So far, it's been kind of hectic on the nights that we get on at 10. If we get on at 9, we can usually get a bigger crowd. But
I know I forgot to do. Hang on, I forgot to turn on my ring light.
That's why I can't see you. There we go.
That's more better.
Now, yeah, there you go. I need to get a ring light. I have like an old light up here that's kind of getting a little faded. You can't really see me that well, so I got to get that worked on. But we got an action-packed show.
It looked so dark, and I was like, "Oh, I didn't turn on my ring light." No,
that's cool, man. Well, I'm glad you got that figured out. All right, man. Well, I tell you what, we're gonna take a quick break. We're gonna come back, and we actually have, I think, 15 cases tonight that we're gonna cover. So we're gonna try to squeeze that into an hour. But if you can, please share this show. We need as many people here as possible. Let's try to bring some people home. We'll be right back after this.
If you or someone you know is thinking of running from home, has run away, or if you are a runaway ready to go back home, call 1-800-RUNAWAY. That's 1-800-786-2929.
All right, we're going to start with one we haven't really talked much about here recently. As soon as I locate it, I know it's on my list. I pulled it.
You pulled it.
There it is. Alexander Perez, missing from Ulysses, Kansas. It's December 1st, 2020. He's 35 when he went missing. He's now 36. He's 5'11", weighs 235 pounds. He has black hair that he shaves bald and brown eyes. He last contacted a family member via telephone on December 1st and advised he'd be coming over to do some laundry. He never arrived at the family member's home in Ulysses, and he's not been heard from or seen by family or friends since that date. Alexander had been staying with family and friends prior to his disappearance. It was initially believed that he may still be in the local Ulysses area, or he may be in the Garden City, Kansas, or surrounding areas. We are hearing some nefarious things that may have happened to him. We don't know if they're accurate or not, so we won't go into detail about it. And we hope they're not true, but hopefully he's still out there somewhere. Again, at the time of his disappearance, he was 35. He's now 36. He's 5'11", weighs 235. He has black hair that he shaves nearly bald and brown eyes. He has a tattoo of a bumblebee on his face underneath his left eye. He has Perez tattooed on one of his arms. He has a tattoo of a cross on a chain across his chest. If you have any information regarding Alexander's disappearance or you know of his whereabouts, please call the Grant County, Kansas Sheriff's Office at 620-356-3500 or the Ulysses, Kansas Police Department at 620-356-4600 or the KBI at 785-296-4017 and see if we can't help bring Alexander home and hopefully safely.
Yeah, so a few weeks ago we did the show and somebody had posted on the comments here. It's a few weeks ago. We don't delete comments unless they're like hateful or just not non-productive, but it's still on there somewhere. Somebody was saying that she had heard from somebody that Alexander's body was out by the Momfort plant, which is going to be southwest of Garden City. And the person that made the comment said that there had been 2 bodies found out there, and that's why they were thinking he was out there. So obviously that's a pretty big lead. Ashley Duff, our friend over there, who has, basically her whole gig is boots on the ground looking for people. Anytime I hear anything about Alexander, I tell her because I know that that's what they do. They go look. And we both, Ricky helped and everything. We dug in. We can't find any news source, any police report that says there were any bodies found in Garden City. So, we're kind of thinking that probably not the best lead. But, at the end of the day, it gave us something to do for a few days. I put on the Garden City chat page today. I was like, this is probably not true at all. I was like, but this is what somebody told us. Has anybody heard anything about bodies in Garden City? Nobody had heard anything. So probably just a rumor. But, I did tell, Ashley Duff and I told some other people, and it's just nice to hear something in the case, even though it kind of ended up being a dead end lead. It's nice to hear something that, people are talking. And that's the main thing that I think that if anybody's responsible for what happened to Alexander Perez, that's the main thing that they're scared of is people talking about this stuff. So I encourage people to still talk about this, still make people uncomfortable,
Right.
Get the truth out.
Yep. And that's what needs to come out is the truth.
Yeah. It's been long enough, we've covered this case so many times and it's just getting ridiculous, but we're going to keep covering it. Hopefully we hear something soon as you all know that, last week or the week before we were talking about their reopening a case that, nobody's talked about for 15, 20 years, so you never know what the police are doing behind the scenes trying to solve this stuff. But we all have hope. And again, if you know anything about Alexander Perez, talk about it. That's preferably to law enforcement.
Right.
Yeah. Let's talk about Alexis.
Okay. Alexis M. Toledo is missing from Springfield, Missouri since April 3rd, 2022. She's 16 years old, 5'2", 100 pounds, dark brown hair and brown eyes. She was last seen at the Battlefield Mall in Springfield. Again, she's 16, 5'2", weighs 100 pounds, has shoulder length, dark brown hair and brown eyes. She was last known to be wearing a black shirt and black leggings. If you have any information regarding Alexis's disappearance, or you know her whereabouts, please call the Springfield, Missouri Police Department at 417-864-1810, or the Missouri State Patrol Missing Persons Unit at 573-526-6178, or their toll-free number is 866-362-6422. See if we can't help get her found and back home where she needs to be as well.
Yeah. You hate seeing it.
Yeah. Hopefully she's safe wherever she is and we can help get her back home safe.
Yeah. 16. It seems, it's like that's pretty much the common age that we see on this show is 16-year-olds. I think anybody that's been 16 knows it's tough. It's a tough gig being 16. So
Yeah.
Stuff happens. People get in arguments. People get upset. But at the end of the day, we just need to make sure that Alexis is safe with people who have her best interests at heart. And just move forward. So, Alexis, if you're seeing this, call somebody, let them know you're okay. People are worried.
Definitely.
And we do have the on top of the screen 1-800-RUNAWAY, 1-800-786-2929. That's if you're out there and you're in between places and kind of out on the lam a little bit, you can call that number. They will get you to a safe place.
Yes, definitely.
And Ricky's tired because he's been up since 5 a.m.
I'm good.
You're good. You're good. All right. Talking about Caroline Gaddis, our show is named after this case tonight, and looks like it's pretty recent.
Yep, Caroline Gaddis has not been seen. Well, she's missing from League City, Texas since March 18th of 2022. She's 39 years old. Has still been able to nail down a height, a weight, a hair, or an eye color. She hasn't been seen since March 18 when she left her office in Galveston, Texas. A text message from Caroline's phone said she'd be out sick on Monday. She has not been seen or heard from since. Police officers did a welfare check at her apartment complex at Cortland, League City near Walker and League City Parkway, but did not find any signs of forced entry. Her father says it's not like Caroline to disappear or not respond to family members, and they're concerned for her safety. Her car, her keys, and wallet are missing, and her phone appears to be turned off. She's driving a blue 2018 Nissan Rogue with Texas license plate MBZ7403. And the family has filed a missing persons report on Caroline. And there is a new update on her since last time we covered her. I just have to locate it here.
Oh, you got an update?
Here we go. It was posted on the 7th, and it says that they had got the following updated information. Caroline was last identified on camera at a gas station in Jackson, Tennessee on March 19th around 3:21 p.m. At this time, they do not know where she may have gone from there. All they know is that she came out of Little Rock, Arkansas around 12:20 p.m. and made it to Jackson, Tennessee around 3:21. They also do not have any indication at this time as to which direction she may have gone or if she was with anybody. What they do know is that this is her last known location, and they are trusting information shared from law enforcement investigating her case that it was Caroline seen there. And they're asking for people to please continue praying for more doors to be open as to her whereabouts. And so that was posted as of the 7th. And I'm going to refresh it and see if anything else has been posted since the 7th.
Yeah, that's some of these flyers we've been covering for years. We don't have updates on, so it's always good to hear some kind of update on stuff.
Right. No, it looks like the March or the April 7th update was the latest update. So, with that being said, if anybody has any information regarding Caroline's disappearance or you do know of her whereabouts, please call the League City, Texas Police Department at 281-332-2566 and let them know what you may know about her case and see if we can help get her located and make sure she's okay.
Yeah. Scary.
Yeah. Interesting. Just left from her office and just left, and don't know if it was of her own accord or if she's with somebody. They have no clue as to whether she's by herself or not. So hopefully she's all right. And like I said, if anybody knows of her whereabouts, again, the League City, Texas Police Department number is 281-332-2566, and let them know what you may know about that.
Yeah, I mean, that's one of those situations. It's been long enough and it's just such odd circumstances. Mm-hmm. Like if Caroline was 15, you'd be like, okay, maybe she took off.
Right.
But, Caroline's 39. 39-year-olds don't just take off, usually unless something bad happens or something, something, maybe there's medical situation. Maybe she's not herself. Could be a bunch of things that's going on, but 39-year-olds disappearing for a month, that's scary. So,
right.
If anybody knows anything, if it's just you saw Caroline, you saw her online. You messaged her online at one point. We need to just update that March 18th. We need to know when the last time somebody talked to her, because if it's been since March 18th, that's a good sign, because right now things are pretty scary.
And if you recall, the last update that we did when we covered her the last time was that on, I can't remember the date, but initially when she made it to Arkansas, they thought she was doubling back and going back to Texas, but now it looks like she didn't go back to Texas. She went to Tennessee. So
that's scary.
Yeah.
Well, hopefully they can, figure that out. That's scary.
Yeah.
Let's talk about charisma.
Okay. Let's see here. There she is up there. Okay, she's missing from Lawrence, Kansas since April 1st, 2022. She's 16 years old. She is 5'5" to 5'6". She weighs between 165 and 180 pounds. She has blonde hair that was last known to be dyed black and blue eyes. She was last seen at Lawrence Free State High School in Lawrence. Again, she's 16, 5'5" to 5'6", weighs between 165 and 180 pounds. She has blonde hair that was last known to be dyed black and blue eyes. She does have a small tattoo on her wrist, and her septum is pierced. If you have any information regarding Charisma's disappearance or you know her whereabouts, please call the Lawrence, Kansas Police Department at 785-832-7509 or the KBI at 785-296-4017. See if we can't get her located and safe back to where she needs to be.
Yeah.
And hopefully wherever she is safe. She just needs to let somebody know where she's at and, let them come get her.
Yeah. And that's always a good thing, when you hear that some of these kiddos finally call somebody and say, "Hey, I want to go home,"
Right.
And it happens.
It
Obviously,
does,
we make located safes. People make the decision to go back. You just hope people stay safe when they're away.
Yeah, and we remember we had that show a while back where we were getting ready to cover the one kid's flyer, and he started commenting, and basically you were talking to him, telling him, he just needed to, turn himself in, do the right thing, and take care of things the right way. And while we were doing the show, he was giving us play-by-play that he called the police. The police were there. He was in the police car, and we were able to verify that he was telling us the truth, and he was actually picked up. So
that was an awesome night.
Yeah, that was
really cool.
Yep.
Trisha Arnold from YouTube land.
Our YouTube representative.
We got a slim crowd tonight. It's just these late nights are different.
Yeah.
Hey, so let's talk about this. Let's talk about Dara.
Okay. Let's see.
Looks like from Carthage.
It's taking me a little bit to dig up flyers tonight. Okay, Dara Vashti, I don't know if it's Vashti or Vashti Martinez. She's missing from Carthage, Missouri since March 4th of 2022. She's 25, 5'5", 150 pounds. She has brown or auburn hair and hazel eyes. She was last seen March 1st at 1100 Sycamore in Carthage, and her last contact was March 4th, and I believe that was via message, I believe. She's diagnosed bipolar and not on her medication. Again, she's 25, 5'5", weighs 150 pounds. She has brown or auburn hair and hazel eyes. If you have any information regarding Dara's disappearance or you know of her whereabouts, please call 911 immediately or call the Carthage, Missouri Police Department at 417-237-7200 or 417-359-9100 or the Missouri State Highway Patrol Missing Persons Unit at 573-526-6178. Or their toll-free number is 866-362-6422. See if we can't get Dara located and back home where she needs to be. Small but mighty. It's a sauna. Yeah. It's small but mighty. Yep.
Yeah, that's
Yep.
I hate that you hear somebody's bipolar and off their meds.
Yeah.
You just hate to see that. I think if I stopped taking my meds, that would be a bad situation.
Hang on a minute. I just noticed a comment down here from Aislinn McCollum. Says Dara had been found 2 days ago.
2 days ago?
Yeah.
You have to look into that.
Hopefully safe.
Yeah.
Hopefully he's found safe. Hopefully.
Yeah, we hadn't heard that.
Yeah, I hadn't heard that yet. Saw it
Yeah.
on the comments. Oh, interesting. Well, let me just bounce over here to check real fast, and we shall see. We shall see what we shall see.
Yeah, we need to know because that's
Yeah. Come on.
that would be nice to update that flyer.
Yes, it will be. Trying to locate her flyer. I didn't think it was that far down the page. Let me go back up here. Oh, there. No. Yep. There it is. Okay. There we go. Oops.
Finding out in real time.
Yeah. Yeah, we'll do this route and see what
we can update that. Yeah, because that was it in our comments, like on Kansas Missing and Unsolved?
I'm not sure.
Because we usually try to pay attention to all those. I don't know. Well, hopefully she is found safe. That's awesome.
That's what I'm checking out here.
Yeah, because we don't want to put her flyer. She says she tagged you.
Okay. KOAMnewsnow.com is reporting on the 7th at 4 p.m. that she was located and is safe.
Oh, okay, cool.
Okay,
awesome.
Okay.
Appreciate the heads up on that. That's awesome.
Yeah.
Awesome.
I'm notating on my little notes here, located safe, so I can update the located safe here after a bit.
Hopefully she is feeling good and somewhere
Hopefully
she needs to be.
That's
and
awesome.
Happy. Yeah.
Glad to hear that.
Well, let's talk about Davian. This has been going on for a long time. Or he's really been missing since January, right?
I think you got the old one, I do believe.
Okay.
Yep. Let's see here. I'm bouncing around. Give me just a second. Sorry about that. He's actually been missing. Yeah, January 25th, 2022. That would be right. That is the latest
Okay,
one.
that's what I thought, but I just wanted to double check.
Yeah.
I did pull this from the archive.
He's 15 years old, 5 foot tall, weighs between 100 and 110 pounds, brown hair and brown eyes. It's believed he may be in the Independence or Coffeyville, Kansas areas. Again, he's 15 years old, 5 foot tall, weighs between 100 and 110 pounds, has brown hair and brown eyes. If you have any information regarding Davian's disappearance or you know his whereabouts, please call the Kansas City, Kansas Police Department at 913-596-3000 or the KBI at 785-296-4017. See if we can't get him located and back to where he needs to be. He's been gone too long.
Time.
Yeah, way too long.
Yeah, that's
Yeah, as is apparently the next one.
Yeah, Heaven. I can't understand. Yeah, what about Josiah Alming?
The missing. I'll have to do some checking on that one. I'm not for sure. I have not heard anything, but that doesn't necessarily mean anything. Why is my caps lock on?
We're looking up
I'm catching up
Josiah
on
real
KBI
quick.
just real quick. He's still listed as missing on KBI. He's been missing since July 7th of 2021 from here in Saline County.
Wow.
So I do have a flyer up for him, so we will have to cover that on the next show, cover him next show. I have to admit, sometimes, working with trying to get information from the police department here in Salina is not always the easiest thing to do. Not knocking them or dissing on them by any stretch, but just saying sometimes it can be very difficult.
Right. Yeah. For sure. Yeah.
They strike me as a very old school police department where less is more, if a civilian's trying to get information, it's hard to get.
Hey, I mean, we're talking about the same state Wyatt Earp's from, man.
Yeah.
I mean, Kansas is about as old school as you get, buddy.
Mm-hmm.
Well, tell me about Heaven here. She's been missing from Fort Scott, Kansas for quite
She's
some
been missing
time.
a long time, since June 24th of last year. So about 10 months. So it's been a long time. She's 17 years old. She's 5'7" to 5'10", 130 to 140 pounds. Has dirty blonde hair and blue eyes. At this point in time, I don't have any indications where she may be, and the folks that asked me to make her flyer at this time didn't have any information as to where she may be either. But again, she is 17 years old, 5'7" to 5'10", weighs between 130 and 140 pounds. She has dirty blonde hair and blue eyes. And again, she's been missing since June 24th of 2021, so 10 months, coming up on 10 months. So if you have any information regarding Heaven's disappearance, or you have any idea where she is, please call the Fort Scott, Kansas Police Department at 620-223-1700 or the KBI at 785-296-4017 and see if we can't get her located and back to where she needs to be. Excuse me. Gosh.
Do you know anybody from this case personally? Like, who are you talking to on the inside?
It was basically just I don't know if I'm able to actually divulge that.
Well, don't say a name. I mean, is it family or is it more like
it's not family, no.
Staff. Okay.
It's not family, no.
I was just gonna kind of ask, and again, don't give anything away that would what is their basic demeanor like? Do they think maybe she's hiding out, or are they kind of worried that maybe something happened?
They really haven't really said. They last time I talked to them, they said there's no information, no leads, no nothing, just total silence.
Wow.
So that's where we need to really rattle the bushes and see what we can come up with.
Yeah. Wow.
And Billy Ann Holstewart is saying thank you for covering Heaven or for.
Oh no, for looking up Josiah.
Oh, looking up Josiah. Okay, gotcha. Actually, Aislinn, Mark's going to cover his flyer here in just a little bit. Actually,
we'll cover it right now.
Okay. And there's Mary Huff is saying good vibes from YouTube over there.
Nice. We love you.
Another YouTube person. That's cool. Please share the YouTube page. Let everybody know that YouTube page is out there and get those videos out there.
Yeah.
Jesse Greninger Jr. He's been missing since March 10th of 2022 from Parsons, Kansas. He's 16 years old. He's 5'10", weighs 120 pounds, has brown hair and blue eyes. If you have any information regarding Jesse's disappearance or you know of his whereabouts, please call the Parsons, Kansas Police Department at 620-421-7060 or the KBI at 785-296-4017. And I wasn't able to get any kind of information as far as where they think he may be or anything like that. So, again, another one we got to rattle the bushes on, see if we can't figure out where he's at and get him back to where he needs to be.
Yeah. Hopefully he's, somewhere safe and this will blow over soon and he can get to go home. And sometimes people just need to take a break, but just as long as he's safe, he's 16-year-old, he's a dude, he's a dude. He can probably fend for himself, but he needs to go somewhere where he's safe and get back on his regiment of, he should be in school. There's a little bit of school left. You're 16, you could work if you want. I mean, the sky's the limit. You can go get yourself a job. You can kind of do whatever you want at that point.
Right.
That's what I learned in life. If you have a job and money in your pocket, nobody really cares what you do.
Right.
So I mean, just go somewhere safe. Let's let people know you're safe and just get back to the grind of life. You got a lot of life left to live and you got a lot of time to really shine. Really, I mean, it's really, the cards are up to you.
Yep. Definitely. Hopefully wherever he's at, he's safe and he's okay. He just needs to let somebody know where he is and where they can come and get him home.
Right. Now this next case, I had made the located safe video for the week and uploaded it, and at about 10 minutes before the show I watched it and I was like, wait a minute, because Faith was in the located safe video, but now she's So talk about that, because I was kind of I was going to embarrass us and play a located safe with her in it. I had to go back and edit it.
Yeah, she went missing again on April 5th. I think it was like the day after she was located, I think, or same day. I can't remember which, but she's 16 years old. She's 5'2", weighs 130 pounds. She has brown hair and brown eyes. She's believed that she still may be in Topeka, or she may be in the Wichita, Lawrence, or Leavenworth areas. Again, she's 16. She's 5'2", 130 pounds. She has brown hair and brown eyes. Her ears and nose are pierced. And if you have any information regarding Faith's disappearance or you know of her whereabouts, please call the Topeka, Kansas Police Department at 785-368-9247 or 785-368-9200, or the KBI at 785-296-4017 and see if we can't get her located and back to where she needs to be.
You hate to see him go home and then the next day take off again.
Yeah, I don't get it.
Maybe Faith has a lot going on that we don't know about, and hopefully she can find the strength to get that sorted out and move on and have an awesome life.
Yeah.
She's only 16. Sky's the limit. Do whatever you want in life.
Yeah.
If you want to work hard.
Yeah. You know, if she's having some kind of issues that she's having trouble dealing with, and maybe she needs to get with a counselor or a therapist or something to help her out with that. I mean, there's nothing wrong with that by any stretch.
Yeah. Or just, I mean, again, we don't know what you're going through, Faith, but hopefully you're safe, and hopefully, you can let somebody know you're safe soon.
Yeah.
But we aren't going to pretend to know what your life is. You're you, and we just hope that you find peace and find safety soon.
Yes, definitely.
Talk about Jason Hinton.
Okay. He is missing from Marion County, Kansas since April 5th of 2022. He's 44 years old, 6'1", 160 pounds, brown hair and blue eyes. His truck was found wrecked and abandoned in Chase County between Florence and Cottonwood off I-70 and mile marker 317. He's an insulin-dependent diabetic, and it's unknown if he has his insulin with him. Again, he's 44 years old. He's 6'1", weighs 160 pounds, has brown hair and blue eyes. If you have any information regarding Jason's disappearance or you know of his whereabouts, please call the Marion, Kansas Sheriff's Office at 620-382-2144 or the Chase County, Kansas Sheriff's Office at 620-273-6313 or the KBI at 785-296-4017 and see if we can't help get him located and back to his family. I know they're very worried about him. I've talked to his sister and apparently some friends of his family as well. So I know they're out looking and worried and wanting to find him.
Wow. We have a celebrity in our chat.
Who's that?
Mr. Muddy Waters himself.
Yeah, Muddy Waters.
I love this channel.
Doing pretty good, Dennis. How are you doing? Are you still planning on making a trip up here to Salina for Kenny Rychek's search?
Yeah, you had mentioned that. No, I watch Muddy Waters, and
I think when I have time I try to catch up on him.
Yeah, I think Dennis is a great presenter, and I love that he hangs out here. I think he's fighting the good fight just like all of us.
Yeah. He uses quite a few of our flyers, which I'm very appreciative. And he is saying, absolutely, we hope to be there soon. Well, hopefully so.
Yeah.
Like to meet you when you get here.
Yeah, I want to meet him too, man. I'd love to meet Dennis. Well, this is a case that we've talked about probably a dozen times since we've been doing the show. Thank you.
Thank you, Dennis. Appreciate that.
That's really cool. That's really nice. This case that we've covered, I saw this on some YouTube video. There was like I've talked about it before, but there was like some stupid video where they were like somebody sent them a trunk full of like evidence, and there was somebody in the comments alluding that it was Catherine Adams' belongings. which it was, you could tell it was totally just like a prop. Everything was propped. It was so fake, which I thought it was pretty messed up that like people are now making like, you know, fan fiction of actual homicides or actual
That's
missing
crazy.
people, you know. I think that's pretty gross. A lot of people are making a lot of big money off of, you know, talking about horrible things. But this is one that we've covered about a dozen times, and it honestly has my head scratching, you know, because usually on these flyers that are older cases, I have my own opinions. I don't really voice them on this show because it's not going to do any good. But with Catherine, I really have no idea what's going on. But Ricky's going to tell you about Catherine Adam.
Yeah, she's missing from here in Salina, Kansas since April 29th of 1993. She was 35 when she went missing. She would now be 63. She's 5'4", weighs 120 pounds, has brown hair and brown eyes. She was last seen at 4:30 in the morning on April 29th, 1993 at the Quick Shop convenience store in the 1700 block of West Crawford here in Salina. She drove a white full-size Ford van with "She Has Legs" written on the sides in blue lettering, which I believe there's a picture of it up there. Her van turned up abandoned at 5:45 p.m. the day after her disappearance at Russell's Restaurant in the 600 block of West Point Boulevard. The restaurant was closed for remodeling at that time. The van was spattered with mud on the outside and blood-soaked on the inside. A large amount of blood was also found at a storage unit in West Salina where Catherine, a saleswoman for Legs Hosiery Company, picked up her stock every morning, but there was no sign of her at either place, and she's never been heard from again. Police speculate someone attacked Catherine when she went inside the storage unit. It appeared they interrupted her in the process of loading her stock for the day. Leaving the door of the unit open, Catherine was separated from her husband at that time and has a teenage daughter at that time. Obviously, her daughter's an adult now. Her case remains unsolved and foul play is suspected. And if you have any information regarding Catherine Adams' disappearance or you know her whereabouts, you can call the Salina, Kansas Police Department at 785-826-7210 or the KBI at 800-572-7463 or at 785-296-4017. And I do know they reclassified her case actually from a missing person to an actual unsolved homicide case based on the fact that they were saying that the amount of blood that was in the van and out there at the storage unit, they don't feel like somebody could have survived the injuries that apparently she sustained, because I know they said they found shell casings on the ground and a hurried attempt at trying to clean up around that storage unit also. So I don't know. Hopefully, you know, they can find out what happened to her and who did it and what they did with her.
So if you want to go conspiracy, because I feel like if only one person was responsible, like if one person attacked her, killed her, drove off with her, and then put her somewhere and then parked that van, she has to be within, like, what'd you say, 50 miles?
Possibly. Yeah, somewhere around there.
I mean, just unless whoever was responsible, like, strapped that van to a helicopter and drove it further. I mean, mathematically, the van only traveled so far. So that's about how far you have to look. Now, if you want to get conspiracy, maybe somebody else helped this person. They could have transferred her body to another vehicle and then went further away.
Yeah.
So that's, again, I have so many ideas and thoughts on this. I really think it was one person that did it, and I think it was an act of passion because it was so messy. I don't think they wanted it to go down that way.
Yeah.
But to me, I think finding Catherine Adam, I think you just have to look at that odometer and do the math. How far did this van travel from the morning she parked it and then when it got parked at that restaurant?
Yeah. And I can tell you a real quick note that on the picture, the color photo of her up there on the screen where she's wearing, it's actually a Kansas City Royals jacket that she's wearing. That's the last known photo that was taken of her. As she was backing out the door of Quick Shop, holding her newspaper and her cup of coffee. So that's the last known photo of her.
That's so terrible. I hate seeing it. She has no idea.
Yeah.
Or maybe she did. Maybe there was some dark stuff going on. I mean,
I don't know.
Unless it was just a random person that wanted to hurt somebody. But to me, the whole storage unit thing, again, I've thought about this a lot. The whole storage unit thing. I feel like somebody would have had to known that she would be there at that time.
That's what it seems like, yes.
Or it could have been a random person that was at that storage unit and it was just a random crime. But to me, I don't really think random crimes happen that often. I think most of the times when crimes happen, it's usually like a crime of passion. Somebody, got in their feelings about something and took something too far. So I don't know, but I agree with the police that I don't think she's alive. But I think if you look at that odometer, her body has to be within a certain mile radius.
Yeah. Tysana, and this is commenting on Dennis's comment about, hey, y'all are a big inspiration to all of us. She said, yes, they are, and so are you, Dennis. And awesome. Dennis is agreeing with something we were talking about with Catherine there. And then Tysana says, but it's definitely got to be a good thing, investigation-wise, that it was switched from missing persons to a homicide. And she's asking, want to be taken more serious now? I would think so. I would think that would have put it in a whole different realm.
Yeah.
And then Dennis is saying, most likely one person, most likely premeditated. If it was random with all the blood, there would have been panic. Yeah.
See, my thinking is, I think it was definitely premeditated, but I don't know if it was a homicide. We don't know, but I don't know if that was premeditated. I think somebody had something to say to Catherine, or something, some feeling or something to tell Catherine, and chose to do that in the middle of the morning in a storage locker where nobody's around. And I think it could have went sideways. Because, I mean, I think Dennis is right. With the amount of blood there was, unless it was just somebody who's just really bad at crime, like, that's a pretty messy crime scene. You know what I mean? Like, that's two crime scenes where there's just excessive amounts of bloods, and two, like at the restaurant where the van is and at the storage. So it's like whoever did it was sloppy. I don't think they meant for that to happen, but that's what happened. Somebody attacked her, I think.
And then I believe it was last year. Was it last year when they found that partial skull not too far from where she disappeared from?
Yeah.
It was just up the road to the east, and in a creek bed. Some mushroom hunters found it, and they were never able to pull a good DNA profile from it to match it to anybody. So it's still yet unidentified.
My personal opinion, I think that skull's from like the 1800s.
I don't know. Not sure.
I mean, if you just think about it, like, Kansas has been a battlefield, hundreds of years ago. So I'm just saying, like, that it wouldn't be, because I feel like Captain Adams was 1993. I just don't see how a skull from 93 would be so deteriorated they couldn't get DNA. Maybe I don't know anything about DNA, but
I'm not sure.
I think they could get something out of something from 93,
But yeah, when Dennis, when you make it to town, I'll have to show you where Catherine disappeared from, and it's just literally right up the road from where the last place Kenny Rychak was last seen is up the road from where she went missing from. And I'll show you proximity where that partial skull was found too.
Wow. Well, hopefully we get some resolution on that someday. A lot of people are very curious about what went down that morning.
Yeah.
Tell me about Kelsey.
Okie doke. Let's see, Kelsey. Where are you at? Okay. Nope, that's the wrong one. Sorry.
Dennis is saying that would have to be an old skull. That's what I'm saying. Like, if they found it's just partial skull, and they can't get any profile off it. I mean, because if you think about it, it could be something that's like a year old, but a lot of people died in Kansas in battle, over the last 400 years. So even before, we got here, like there was an area where there was battles and stuff. So like, I could see like it just be like 100-year-old skull, but who knows?
Yeah, I don't know. I'm not sure. Right. I wished I knew more, but I don't. But moving on to Kelsey Lords Marquez. She's missing from Springfield, Missouri since April 1st, 2022. She's 24 years old. She's 5'4", 130 pounds, blonde hair, blue eyes. She left her residence on foot and is without her required medication. Kelsey is a diagnosed schizophrenic with bipolar disorder, post-traumatic stress disorder, and manic depression. It's possible that she may be headed to the St. Louis area. And she's 24 years old, 5'4", weighs 130 pounds, has blonde hair and blue eyes. She has a flower tattoo on her chest and a Playboy bunny tattoo on her neck. She was last seen wearing a red hoodie, black pants, pink shoes, and carrying a green purse. If you have any information regarding Kelsey's disappearance or you know her whereabouts, please call 911 immediately or call the Springfield, Missouri Police Department at 417-864-1810 or the Missouri State Highway Patrol Missing Persons Unit at 573-526-6178 or 866-362-6422. That's their toll-free number. See if we can help get Kelsey located and back to where she needs to be. And hopefully wherever she is, she's safe and okay.
Yeah. She's got really cool hair in both pictures. I like the braids. Those are really cool.
Yeah. Yeah, the one that they released in the media is actually the one on the left. The one with the braids I found on the Missouri State Highway Patrol's website.
Okay.
So I kind of borrowed it.
Right. Wow. Well, hopefully, yeah, you're right. Hopefully she's somewhere safe.
See, these are some of the ones, I don't know what wording she used to say it, but when I'm making flyers, these are the kind of photos that I do like where they contrast to where the one on the left, pretty much no makeup, plain Jane kind of look. And then the one on the right looks like a driver's license photo. So, makeup's done, hair's done. Kind of gives you a good idea of what the person looks like, without makeup, with makeup. So,
yeah.
I like that idea. I mean, it's good. A good way to.
Hey, you know me, man. With all these filters and makeup, I think that it should be mandatory for, a parent to once every few months just take a picture of your kid, their face, with no makeup on, no filters. Just take a picture. They don't have to embarrass them. You don't have to post it anywhere. But I mean, if somebody goes missing and your parents hand us a bunch of photos to make your flyer, and they all got 15 filters on them. It's kind of hard to find you. You know what I mean? Like it's we're not looking for, your filter's not going to be on while you're walking around in public, potentially needing help from somebody, maybe trying to signal somebody that you're in trouble. So, and I'm not saying post pictures of yourself without filters online. No, I don't want anybody to do that. But if you want to do it, you can. But at least have some pictures. You don't have to do it all the time. But have some pictures that you can give to loved ones in case something happens and we need to look for you.
Yeah.
Well, we're almost done here. It sounds like your little buddy needs to go outside. But a little bit more of a tragic news here. I do want to just real quick before he reads this flyer. We do have the Shawnee County Crime Stoppers phone number on the screen. If anybody knows anything. But Ricky's going to tell us about Mackley.
Yeah, this was one that I was contacted about doing the other day, and I did. I went ahead and did it. It's Mackley. It's an unsolved homicide from January 14th of this year in Topeka. He was murdered on or about January 14th. Topeka police officers responded to a welfare check call at 608 Southwest Lincoln in Topeka with reports of a past assault. Upon arrival, officers said they found an unresponsive adult who was determined to be deceased by medical personnel at the scene. Officers identified the deceased as Mac Lee, 39, of Topeka, and have determined that Mac's death was a homicide. If you have any information on Mac's death, please call the Shawnee County Crime Stoppers at 785-234-0007, or you can go send a web tip at ShawneeCountyCrimeStoppers.com or their free mobile app at p3tips.com and submit your tip that way and see if we can't help get some justice for Mac and his family.
Yeah.
I'm going to mute my mic for just a second.
Ricky's having dog issues over there at his house, but Ricky's having some issues. Okay, here we go. He's pleading with his dog right now.
No, he's good now.
Okay.
He's good now. right. Looks like
And were you done reading Mac's flyer?
Yes, that was all for his flyer. Yes.
Okay.
Yes. Just
And
want to
then,
make sure we, get that out there and try to get some justice for him and his family.
Yeah. Yeah. Let's talk about Maria Pascual.
Okay. And that is legitimately her name because I asked, I verified, is that indeed her actual name? And they said, yes, it is. And she's missing from Wichita, Kansas since November 29th of 2021. She's 17 years old. She's 4'11", 160 pounds, black hair and brown eyes. It's believed she may either be in the Coffeyville area or she may be trying to get to Guatemala. Again, she's 17 years old. She's 4'11", 160 pounds, black hair and brown eyes. If you have any information regarding Maria's disappearance or you know of her whereabouts, please call the Wichita, Kansas Police Department at 316-660-9452 or 316-263-6011 or the KBI at 785-296-4017 and see if we can't get her found back to where she needs to be.
Wow. She's been missing for a long time. We've covered her several times.
May either be trying to get to Coffeyville or back to Guatemala. That's interesting.
Yeah. Pretty big leap in distances, too, as far as...
Yeah.
And then real quick, we want to give a shout out to our good friend, Ashley Duft, over there at Missing in Kansas, Megan Fogelsong. We're going to cover that case. If you want to have in-depth conversations about Megan Fogelsong, you want to know more about it, check out Ashley's page, and she kind of covers this case, extensively. So there's a lot of information over there, which we get a lot of our information from that page.
Right. Megan Renee Fogelsong is missing from Alden, Kansas since December 2015. She was 21 when she went missing. She would now be 27. She is 5'4", 150 pounds, sandy blonde hair and green eyes. Her last activity on Facebook was November 30th of 2015, and there was an unconfirmed sighting around Christmas time 2015 at Guy's Liquor Store in Larned, which I'm hearing now was confirmed not to be her, actually. So I don't know if that's still accurate or not.
Right.
Again, at the time of her disappearance, she was 21. She would now be 27. She is 5'4" and weighs 150 pounds. Her weight does fluctuate. She has sandy blonde hair that she does dye occasionally and has green eyes. She wears glasses but does have contacts. Megan has a tattoo on her left hip of a flower design pictured far right. She also has a tattoo on her left wrist of a heart design that says thick thin, and a tattoo on her upper right chest, both pictured above, second photo from the right, which I don't know if they're in that order on the screen. She also has a tattoo on her outer left calf of a dream catcher. And we also know with Megan's case, I guess you'd say the prime person of interest in the case is no longer among the living, as he took his own life after he basically lost a car chase by police officers. They managed, I guess, pit him off the road. And when they approached the vehicle after they got him off the road, he shot himself. So we know he's no longer around, unfortunately, because I'm sure he took whatever he knew about Megan's disappearance to the grave with him, unfortunately. But I'm hoping and praying that he had told at least one person. And, I'm hoping if anybody has any information regarding her disappearance, that they call the Rice County, Kansas Sheriff's Department at 620-257-7876 or 620-257-2363 or KBI at 785-296-4017. And see if we can't, help find Megan and bring her home.
Yeah.
It's been a long time. And Aislinn saying that she lives in Elk City, Kansas, and she goes through Independence and Coffeyville a lot, and she'll keep an eye out. Thank you. Greatly appreciated.
Awesome.
Greatly appreciated.
Yeah, I'd love to hear some more on this, but I think you're right. I think when that guy shot himself, I think a lot of the story got lost there.
Yeah, and the sad part about it wasn't just his life that he took either, because he shot and killed his dad before the police pursuit and shooting himself.
Yeah.
So apparently, I don't know why he chose to shoot his dad unless his dad knew and he wanted to make sure his dad didn't say anything. I don't know. I mean, that's speculation on my part.
I mean, guy just sounds like a dirtbag.
Yeah.
Not a big fan. I think he's I think that's yeah, I mean, just a coward. Kills his dad, doesn't tell anybody what he knows about Megan, and shoots himself where he doesn't have to talk about it ever again. It's not cool.
Yeah.
Well, we got one more case before we get out of here. Go ahead and talk about Dana Jane Bruce.
Okay. She's been missing since October 4th of 2008. She was 23 when she went missing. She'd now be 36. She's 5'2", 98 pounds. She has brown hair and green or hazel eyes. Dana was last seen at her children's babysitter's home in Sedalia. She had left the children with there earlier that day so she could go out for the evening. She returned at midnight and gave the babysitter more money and asked her to watch the children for the rest of the night. She was seen at Malone's Bar on Main Street with a young man driving a late model red Ford F-150 truck earlier on the night of her disappearance. She left with the man at 11:30 p.m. Police have identified that man, and he traveled to Atlanta, Georgia after her disappearance, and police questioned him about Dana's disappearance after he was arrested there on unrelated charges of marijuana possession and driving on a suspended license. Authorities haven't named him publicly, but they are calling him a person of interest. He told his questioners that he and Dana parted ways after they left the bar and never saw her after that. She left all of her belongings behind, including her hairbrush and toothbrush, and she does not have credit cards, debit cards, a checking account, a cell phone, or a car. Again, at the time of her disappearance, she was 23. She would now be 36. She's 5'2" tall and weighs 98 pounds. She has brown hair that was colored brown at the roots and black at the ends with red highlights and green or hazel eyes. She was last known to be wearing a black shirt with the word Rebel and silver lettering on the front and blue jeans. Dana has a tattoo of a teddy bear with wings and the name Dylan on her upper left arm. She is blind in her left eye. She has a 2-inch scar along her lower spine and a staple scar on her right shoulder. Her ears are pierced 1 time each. If you have any information regarding Dana's disappearance or you know her whereabouts, please call the Sedalia, Missouri Police Department at 660-827-7823 or 660-826-8100, or the Missouri State Highway Patrol Missing Persons Unit at 573-526-6178, where their toll-free number is 866-362-6422, and see if we can't help get Dana brought home where she needs to be.
Yeah.
And Alan Dodson is saying, thank you, Alan, you're very welcome. That's just a very interesting case.
Yeah. It's another one missing. It says missing, but you're like, whoa, where would she be? Is she like hiding out somewhere? Like, come on.
Yeah. Goes out for the evening, disappears. And nobody's saying anything. Well, it's time to start speaking up. And Dennis is saying you have a good night and thank you for all for all y'all do. You're very welcome, Dennis, and hope to see you soon up here around Salina.
Yeah. I really hope that they get to go over there and do some Kenny Rycheck stuff over there in Salina.
Yeah, I do too. I know one of his last shows I watched, he was talking about trying to be over here in April to do a search for Kenny. So I'm hoping he'll be able to make it. That'd be awesome. I think a big search needs to be done for Kenny.
Yeah.
I mean, as long as he's been missing and without a word, and nobody's seen him in his usual places that he goes to, like the scrapyard to scrap metal and stuff like that. I mean, it just really makes me, really think something not good happened to him.
Right.
I mean, I didn't know him well, but I knew him from running into him at the gas station when I was a teenager, when he would play pinball and video games, and talk to him while he was doing that and stuff. And he was really fun to watch play pinball. He was a good pinball player, that's for sure. Hopefully we can get him found. With that being said, I'm going to go ahead and do our little prayer here real quick. And say, Heavenly Father, thank you for bringing us together again tonight to allow us to go over these missing persons cases and unsolved homicides, and hopefully get some questions answered on both fronts, missing persons and unsolved homicides, so that we can get these cases solved and bring the people to justice that need to be brought to justice. And as always, just hope the right ears and the right hearts hear these flyers as we're going over them, and we'll do the right thing. And until we see each other again in a week, take care. God bless. And we pray these things in your name, Heavenly Father. Amen.
Amen.
If you or someone you know is experiencing a suicidal crisis or emotional distress, please call the National Suicide Prevention Lifeline at 1-800-273-8255.